Aiding U.S. Army rescue efforts in some of the harshest conditions on the planet is a helicopter that's tailor-made for extreme environments.
The Chinook is such an incredible machine. A lot of people think it looks like a school bus, but I think it drives more like a sports car.
Moving cargo vessels through the busiest port of Alaska is a trio of small but mighty tractor tugs, proving that size does not dictate power.
These are basically big bathtubs with big engines in them. Total of 5,080 horsepower. It's about the same as 50 pickup trucks.
Where frozen wilderness exists, where snow and ice are relentless, and where exposure to the elements is a matter of life and death, human survival depends on extreme ice machines. The Army's Fort Wainwright lies in the shadow of the 400-mile-long Alaska mountain range, showcasing some of the most impressive peaks in North America. The highest, nearly 4 miles above sea level. This base is home to the Army's Bravo Company 1st Battalion, 52nd Aviation Regiment. The battalion's core duty is to train and operate in this icy terrain, one of the harshest environments on the planet. They support the National Park Service by conducting search and rescue missions within the treacherous mountains, as well as transport cargo and soldiers between the other 2 Army bases in Alaska. The climate here is extreme. During the winter, temperatures can drop to -60 degrees, with high winds and very low visibility. To get the job done, the 152 needs an aircraft that can handle the unpredictable weather, high altitudes, and precarious terrain found in Alaska. Their vehicle of choice is the CH-47 Chinook. A tandem-rotor, twin-engine helicopter with 10,000 horsepower that can reach a top speed of 170 knots or 196 miles per hour. It is the fastest helicopter in the U.S. military. The Chinook is able to travel 740 miles on a single tank of fuel and reach altitudes above 18,000 feet.
No other helicopters can perform the way the Chinook does here in Alaska. The Chinook's the only one that can fly those high altitudes and extreme cold temperatures with cargo on board and be able to accomplish the mission.
Chief Warrant Officer 2 Christopher Thor not only flies the helicopter himself, he instructs new pilots on the Chinook at Fort Wainwright.
We have the Alaska Range that's just to the south of us, and we can go do high-altitude training there almost any time that we need to. It's something that we try to stay proficient at because at any time we can get called to go conduct a rescue in the mountains. It also prepares us for going to operate in places like Afghanistan where there's mountainous terrain and we need to be trained and prepared for it.
The Chinook is a massive aircraft, over 50 feet long and nearly 20 feet high. When carrying a full load of cargo, it can handle a maximum takeoff weight of 50,000 pounds.
The Chinook is such an incredible machine. Fast, powerful, agile. A lot of people think it looks like a school bus, but I think it drives more like a sports car.
It's the fastest aircraft in the Army inventory, as well as we can carry the most load. We carry the most personnel. We can sleigh load the most equipment, more troops in on one turn than any other aircraft. We're proficient in operating in these cold conditions.
Captain Adam Paducah is the commander for Bravo Company 152.
So we're up here to be the Arctic experts. I've been up here 2 years now. The coldest I've seen is -55 without wind chill.
The freezing cold climate and limited daylight of an Alaskan winter puts to the test every bit of the Chinook's power and agility.
Well, our company up here is unique just because we get into that extreme weather. When it comes to cold weather conditions, we're the furthest north GSAB that the Army has. There's not many other units that are going to see that type of cold weather.
GSAB stands for General Support Aviation Battalion. The 152, nicknamed the Sugar Bears, is an elite unit with a history that stretches back to the Vietnam War, just like the helicopter they pilot. It was during the Vietnam War that the Chinook became the go-to vehicle for reaching treacherous mountain areas. Flying at high altitudes with speed and agility, and supporting a carrying capacity exceptional for its size, have made the Chinook an essential part of U.S. military operations ever since.
The Chinook performs many tasks and missions. We do air movements, cargo missions, rescue missions, really anything you throw at it. You need it moved. If it fits, it ships is kind of the motto we have.
Few of the original aircraft that entered service in 1962 are still flying today. But the unique design, remarkable capacity, and ability to be updated have kept the Chinook in demand. The fact that it can handle freezing temperatures at high altitudes makes it ideal for surviving in the Alaskan wilds.
Alaskan weather, it's unpredictable. Not only that, it's unforgiving. So combine those two things together, it can really cause havoc for pilots going out in aircraft that aren't really suited for it. I think the Chinook helps us encounter those situations and be able to handle them without much of an issue.
The 152's expertise in the harsh and cold mountain environment has also earned them a critical role in supporting the National Park Service in Alaska. They stand ready to perform high-altitude rescue missions in the Alaska Range, especially on Mount Denali, North America's tallest peak. When not on duty aiding rescues or transport supplies, the 152 trains in the mountains. The extreme cold and high altitudes are the perfect teaching tools for rocky combat situations. And one of the most important lessons is to respect the cold.
Yeah, it'll stop your heart, you know, especially with the guys on the ground. You come in with the big Chinook, we got, 70-mile-an-hour winds coming off those rollerblades. We're coming in for landing. So you got negative 30, 40, 50-degree temperatures, and a Chinook coming in there, it'll start your heart.
The Chinook may be the fastest flyer in the fleet, but it's the innovative landing gear that offers its feather-like touchdown. And today, recent upgrades to the system are being put to the test.
They're going to allow us to land in deep snow without causing damage to the aircraft.
Stationed in the Alaska Mountain Range is one of the Army's secret weapons in conducting high-altitude search and rescue missions. Bravo Company 152 and their mighty CH-47 Chinook. Training exercises are imperative to the 152 in order to keep their Arctic skills sharp. Because staying one step ahead of Mother Nature is no easy feat. Today, Chief Warrant Officer 2 Levi Sina is taking out a Chinook to test some recent fixes to the landing gear, crucial to the helicopter's versatility.
We're gonna go check the skis, make sure that they're airworthy for the aircraft, and then we're gonna do some training on top of that, landing in degraded visual environments and reconning landing zones for future missions out here in Alaska.
As part of its cold weather capabilities, the Chinook has upgraded its landing gear with fixed fiberglass skis over the 4 wheelbases for touching down in the subarctic environment. And ensuring they're in peak performance is vital.
These skis are very important here in Alaska during the winter time. They're going to allow us to land in deep snow without causing damage to the aircraft. We just reinstalled these skis. We got them back from maintenance. They had some repairs done to them. So we're going to take the aircraft out, perform a few landings on top of the snow to make sure that they're still good to go.
The ski reduces the ground pressure of the landing gear by increasing the surface area of the wheels,
These front skis here are about 12 feet long and 4 feet wide, and they weigh about 350 pounds apiece.
Normally, the wheels on the Chinook produce 200 pounds of ground pressure per square inch. With the skis attached, the helicopter only produces 2 pounds per square inch. This hardware allows the massive machine to sit on top of the snow instead of sink into it. Everything depends on the skis being in perfect working condition. Without them, the Chinook would not be able to land in the deep snow of the Alaskan mountains. It's currently negative 30 degrees outside. Levi and his co-pilot Francois start the engines one at a time. The helicopter has to warm up to obtain maximum rotor speed before taking off. Despite being in a subarctic climate, the Chinook is still capable of getting airborne quickly.
About 20-25 minutes we can get from nothing running to ready to take off. We call that 100%. And to be able to do it that fast with this much power and fuel capabilities, it allows us to be reactive and respond to any kind of requests or calls that we get.
Okay, we're going to head out and we'll test out these skis, make sure they're good to go.
The Chinook is equipped with parallel rotors, the fore and the aft, producing a rotor diameter of 60 feet. Each rotor consists of 3 fully articulated blades.
Smooth acceleration through 70%, looking real good.
The Chinook takes off without a hitch, in spite of the frigid temperature outside.
Okay, and we got, let's see, 6,120 pounds total fuel, burning 2,200 pounds an hour. At that burn rate, we have just under 3 hours of fuel at this mission profile. What makes the Chinook such a good helicopter here in the winter is the tandem rotor design. It's very efficient in cold air because the air is denser, and our engines don't have to work as hard. Our rotors produce more lift than, say, if you're at higher altitude, a little bit warmer temperatures. So it's a very efficient machine in the wintertime. We can get our max payload almost every day of the week with it.
The tandem rotor design is the secret to this aircraft's efficiency at high altitudes.
The way the Chinook's designed with the tandem rotor, it doesn't have a tail rotor. Other helicopters, look at single rotor helicopters, they have a tail rotor and that counteracts torque. Now to have 2 main rotor systems, they turn clockwise and counterclockwise, so they counteract each other's torque, so it's more efficient. We're not getting robbed of power trying to power just the tail rotor that doesn't do anything to provide lift.
The torque created by the engines makes the blades turn. The energy created is so powerful that without an opposing force, the body of the helicopter would just spin in the opposite direction from the blade.
The rotor systems on the Chinook spin in different directions because if they spun in the same direction, the helicopter would be uncontrollable. I'm sure you've seen movies where like the tail rotor gets cut off of a helicopter and it spins. That's exactly what would happen if they both spun the same direction. The helicopter would spin.
The power behind the rotors is the twin turboshaft engines, housed in 2 turbine-shaped casings. Each one is able to provide 4,867 shaft horsepower, producing 225 blade rotations per minute. There are 2 safety measures in place to ensure that the fore and the aft rotor blades do not come in contact with one another. First, the aft rotor system is positioned at a higher level than the fore rotor system. Second, the timing of the blade's rotation is offset, so each blade turns in the space between the other rotor's blades, ensuring they'll never touch each other. All of the power these engines produce is used for lift, with relatively low fuel consumption, which gives this incredible aircraft extreme agility and versatility.
Flying a Chinook, it's such a large aircraft, you would think it would be cumbersome, but it is not at all. It's very agile. The controls are so powerful that the aircraft feels very light when you fly it. We're basically still in the foothills of the Alaska range. Very soon we'll be up into the mountains there.
The 152 has spotted the perfect test ground.
we'll be able to really get those skis sunk in and see if she remains on top of the snow.
It's time to put the Chinook's new landing gear into action.
Got ground inside. We're looking real good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Today, the Army's 152 Battalion is flying through the Alaska Range on a testing mission with the CH-47 Chinook helicopter.
There's a lot of good spots out here on the right side that we could use.
Pilots are searching for a place with enough deep snow to conduct a systems check, testing the landing skis that were added to the Chinook during a recent upgrade.
Yeah, we need to find somewhere on the, like this side right here of these mountains. Once we get over that next ridge, we'll be able to find some deeper snow, test out the skis in. All right, there we are. So down in there, that's the Gillum Glacier.
The Gillum Glacier is a roughly 10-mile-long solid landmass of snow and ice, a mile above sea level.
Checking that nice big open snowfield there to the 3 o'clock zone. Okay, yep, that looks deep enough. We'll be able to really get those skis sunk in and see if she remains on top of the snow.
Making sure the skis function properly is fundamental to the training and rescue missions the 152 performs in the Alaska Range. If the skis malfunction, it could damage the massive helicopter and strand the crew.
Looking real good. 20 knots ground, 85 feet.
I got ground inside. We're looking real good. Off 20, 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Contact.
Ski failure is not the only risk they face when landing in deep snow. Whiteout conditions, caused by the powerful rotor downwash, block all sight lines from the cockpit.
So landing in the snow, our rotor blades produce about 100 knots of downwash. It kicks up all the snow from the ground up into the rotor system. So that's called the whiteout landing. We have systems on board the helicopter that help the pilot land into that kind of condition. That system is the advanced flight control system of the Chinook. That system's going to help the pilot basically bring the aircraft back to a hover on its own and then pick a spot over the ground using GPS, and it'll keep that aircraft there, wings level, to where we just have to land straight down, and then we can land pretty easily into any type of whiteout or brownout condition. Then that's it. Safe on the ground every time.
Around 2009, the Chinook fleet underwent major upgrades to allow it to land in these extreme conditions, which were previously dangerous, if not impossible, due to the lack of ground visibility. The Chinook crew proceeds to conduct multiple tests of the skis to make sure that the system functions perfectly. Like massive snowshoes, the skis keep the 12-ton Chinook on the surface of the deep snow.
So we were able to get out there and test out the skis. They passed all the tests we put them through. They did really well. It's going to be an awesome addition to this machine, and now we're headed home.
Powerful, versatile, and fast. The Chinook can achieve high altitudes in the subarctic Alaskan climate and land smoothly in whiteout conditions on deep snow. It's no wonder the Chinook is the heavy-duty machine the United States Army depends on for survival in the Alaska frontier.
The Chinook is unlike flying any helicopter. It flies like a very small aircraft, and it's very versatile, very agile, and very fun to fly.
In my mind, the Chinook is the best aircraft in the United States Army inventory. When it comes down to it, we have more power, we can carry more weight, and it looks sexy. It's that easy.
Leading a 65,000-ton cargo ship through an ice-ridden port is tricky business. But for these hardcore tugs, it's all in a day's work.
To have a port that has a large tidal extreme and to have a port that is chock-block full with ice isn't unique. But here in Cook Inlet, we have both every 6 hours.
Anchorage, Alaska, famous for its long winters and unique urban wildlife, is also home to the busiest port in the state. The Port of Alaska connects Anchorage with the subarctic waters of Cook Inlet. Every year, 3.5 million tons of essential goods move across these docks. The port is the economic heart of America's northernmost state. And this heart can never stop beating. Anything that Alaskans eat, wear, or drive comes through the Port of Alaska. But docking a 65,000-ton cargo ship in the polar waters of Cook Inlet is tricky business. Because from November to May, there's ice. Lots of ice. In addition, this is the second largest tidal range in North America, with up to a 40-foot difference between high and low tides. This makes keeping the Port of Alaska open one of the toughest jobs around. That's where these three mighty tractor tugboats come in. They do the heavy lifting needed to bring the ships to port. These three workhorses of the sea may look like your average tugboat, but they pack an unbelievable amount of power under the hood. They're equipped with two main engines that produce 5,080 horsepower combined. That power is distributed to two propellers that give the tugs massive thrust and extreme maneuverability. All of it controlled from the captain's chair by two levers. These tugs can move forwards, backwards, sideways, and just as quickly, change direction.
I like the challenges of working here. You know, you've got such huge dynamics, the forces at play here with currents, the ice.
Captain Grant has been operating tugboats at the Port of Alaska for 8 years.
No day is the same as the one before, and this inlet can thump on you pretty quickly. These tugs are extreme ice machines just because of the way they're built, the way they can handle these conditions and do it exceptionally well. They're bad.
Waiting for the Stellar to get off of us here. And as soon as they're out of the way, we'll cut loose and we'll get underway.
To have a port that has a large tidal extreme isn't unique. And to have a port that is chock-block full with ice isn't unique. But here in Cook Inlet, we have both. And that happens every 6 hours. You end up with an extremely difficult environment with which we have to work in every day.
Jeff Johnson heads a crew of dedicated tugboat operators who keep the Port of Alaska open for business.
It's kind of in our DNA. We're always ready, we're always up, and we're always ready to go. We're pretty critical in what we do here. If a ship were to have trouble coming in, you would feel the impacts almost immediately. Fuel shortages, grocery shortages, supplies in general for the things that we need every day of our life.
And that's why they use some of the most rugged and nimble tractor tugs around.
A tractor tug is a tug that's built with special propulsion systems to enable it to be extremely maneuverable, extremely powerful. They may not be fast, but they pull really strong and they push really hard.
These boats have unique capabilities, like breaking up and clearing ice. Not something your average tug can manage.
Well, we're just kind of cutting through the ice here a little bit, testing her out, see how hard it is. Pretty soft today. The beach ice, it can be the size of a house.
and only a foot of it's above the surface, and then there's 25 feet of it down below.
Like mini icebergs, the beach ice mixes with massive ice pans up to 18 inches thick, forming over the water during the winter, threatening a gridlock that is both deep and wide. A daily challenge for tugs, working to keep the water open for ships to pass through.
Obviously, the bigger the pan, the more of a problem it's going to cause, so we run through them like this, clear the path for the ships coming in. You're just breaking it up. These tugs are incredible for 3 reasons: the hull shape, the horsepower, and the propulsion package. So the hull on these, they're a heavy displacement hull. There's a lot of boat underneath the water, basically a big counterweight underneath the water.
The hulls are fitted with big rubber fenders and tires to protect the tugs and the ships they assist in docking. And this icebreaker has a little something extra.
Put ice banding on the bows and around the hulls. We've actually put knife edges on the bow as well so we can cut through the ice.
Ice banding is additional armor added to the tug to protect it when breaking through the ice. And unlike a conventional tug with a pointed bow, this heavy displacement hull gives the tractor tug stability, as does its unique shape.
They're not ocean-going tugs that are, with a long pointed bow and sharp entry. They're round. And that's for maneuvering. The smoother and rounder the surface is, the more they can turn and twist. These are basically big bathtubs with big engines in them.
Stability and maneuverability are this tugboat's edge in the icebreaking game. But they also need a boatload of power to get through it.
The motors are bad boys on here. They're big cats, 3512C HDs for a rated 2,540 horsepower each. Total of 5,080 combined horsepower for the tug. It's about the same as 50 pickup trucks.
As a cargo ship enters the port, this marine trio shows what it's made of.
Yeah, your nerves get you a little bit. You're coming alongside a 900-foot ship, trying not to crash.
Keeping the economic heart of Alaska beating is a trio of tractor tugs with extreme capabilities. Captain Grant pilots one of these beasts. But it's his engineer, William Klock, who gets up close and personal with what makes this tug move.
These 3512s can make this 300,000-pound tug spin on a dime. There's 2 engines down here. This one's connected to its own propeller, and this one's connected to its own propeller. The key components of these mains are the great big turbos, big injectors, and a big cooler that allows more fuel and more air to get to the cylinders. They make the tug able to move through the ice pretty easily.
The tractor tugs operate using a Z-drive.
So an azimuth thruster, also known as a Z-drive, is what you're looking at here. So it's called a Z-drive because the rotary motion from the main engines takes 2 90-degree turns and connects it to the propeller. And each propeller can spin 360 degrees, directing thrust wherever you need it.
Propulsion is the power that pushes the boat through the water. That energy starts in the engine. The 2,540 horsepower produced by each of the tractor tug's engines turns the attached Z-drives. The drives are connected to massive 95-inch propellers that can spin 360 degrees around a vertical axis, providing powerful but controlled thrust in any direction.
This is what makes these tugs so special, is these Z-drives, because it makes them highly maneuverable.
That means these tugs not only move forwards and backwards, they can move sideways.
Another nice feature about these boats is they can, especially up here, they can walk sideways into the current. So in order to maintain position alongside a ship, sometimes you got to walk up into the current. Most boats don't go sideways, and these boats excel at that.
And even spin.
This is just a high-speed spin maneuver. And this maneuver only has one purpose in life. That's for fun. It takes a little getting used to when you come from a conventional style boat, because you got two independent drives doing their own thing. So you can change your attitude, your direction, everything.
The thrust from the propellers gives these tugs another advantage.
The amount of thrust and vacuum that those props are pulling, they pull in ice and spitting it out the back chopped up.
Ice-chewing propellers, extreme power and thrust, a steel-reinforced hull, and incredible maneuverability give the Bering Wind, Stellar Wind, and Glacier Wind tugs a serious advantage when it comes to taming the ice. And these tractor tugs are crucial for docking ships in the frozen waters of the Port of Alaska.
It can get pretty crazy here. This winter has been the harshest winter we've seen in quite a while. Getting through the ice has been as difficult as I've seen it since I've been here. But we're getting things done and getting ships and barges pushed in and keeping things rolling.
Next job tonight is Tote North Star. They're coming out of Tacoma, Washington. They left there about 3 days ago. That's happening at 3 o'clock in the morning. So we'll cut loose a little bit before that, and then we'll go down to the port and start clearing the ice.
It's 2:30 in the morning.
All the ships come in on the tide, so it doesn't matter if it's daytime, nighttime, anytime in between. Whenever they come, we go. We'll cut loose here in probably another 20 minutes.
Captain Grant and the Bering Wind, as well as the crews of the Stellar Wind and Glacier Wind, are preparing to meet the North Star, a ship out of Tacoma, Washington.
So we've got ice this morning, so we're gonna have to cut loose a little bit earlier than normal, go over to the port, clean out a hole, get the ice out of the way for them. So you can just see his lights coming on the horizon out there. He's making 25 knots. Just coming up on the race point now, so I'm good to go.
She's carrying 650 truck trailers full of goods for the state of Alaska. But she can't get anywhere near the ice-laden port on her own.
Here we go. So there's enough hard pan ice here that it would keep them off the dock if we weren't there to do the assist and wash the ice out for them.
Docking the North Star is a job for all three tractor tugs. The Bering Wind, Stellar Wind, and Glacier Wind.
Bering Wind, North Star, 7-4.
North Star, Bering Wind. Morning, Frank.
Hey, good morning, Grant. How's it going there?
Should be able to have a hole for you here pretty quick.
All right, awesome. Appreciate it.
The first order of business for the three tugs is to clear the ice by the dock, to make room for the North Star, in an action known as making a hole.
So what we're doing right now is we're just doing a quick pass down the face of the dock where the ship's going to be tying up, just to break up these bigger pans. The smaller it is, the easier it is to sweep out of the way.
The Bering Wind and Glacier Wind use their reinforced hulls to sweep the ice away from the dock.
We'll put the tug into a walk where it basically goes sideways, and just the length of the tug will just like a broom. It just pushes all that ice right down the dock face and out of the way. Starting to look good.
In a matter of minutes, the tugboats have made an 1,100-foot-long cargo ship-sized hole next to the dock, known as an ice shadow.
Our work here is done. Ice shadow's built. We're gonna head out to the ship. North Star, Bering.
Yeah, go ahead, Grant.
Yeah, I got a pretty good shadow built. I'm headed your way.
Thanks. Sounds good.
The Bering Wind and Glacier Wind set out to meet the North Star, while the Stellar Wind stays by the dock to keep the ice shadow open.
So we got North Star right here. It's big.
Big might be an understatement. The North Star is 900 feet long, or roughly the length of 2.5 football fields. Her gross weight is over 65,000 tons, and she looms a staggering 125 feet over the Bering Wind.
Things
When they happen at night, obviously there's a little more of a challenge, but we're set up to work day and night regardless. Just part of the deal.
The North Star is moving at about 11 miles per hour. Add an inlet full of ice and almost complete darkness, and things could go wrong quickly.
Yeah, your nerves get you a little bit. You're coming alongside a 900-foot ship, trying not to crash.
The final moments of mooring this massive vessel will require all hands on deck to work with extreme precision.
This is the part where little mistakes can end up in a crash alongside the dock. This is where the finesse comes in.
Let me know if I'm making note of it.
The North Star has made its way into Cook Inlet, minutes away from a successful berthing, and all eyes are on the Bering Wind to make sure that happens.
We're gonna lay right alongside.
Captain Grant has to get close enough to attach a line to the North Star.
The crew's gonna put it through a staple on the side shell of the ship, and that way we can push them, pull them, whatever they need us to do. It's critical to get this line up quickly. When the ship gets in here, it can be a challenge sometimes. That bow staple can be completely frozen over with ice, so the guys will be out there breaking ice just to get that line up. Yeah, Bering's got to line up forward, ready to work.
Okay, Bering's got to line up forward. Thanks, Grant.
We got our line up. Probably within the next couple minutes, he's going to have me come out to a 90, and we're going to start pushing him to the dock.
The rope is another secret weapon featured on this tug, made by 12 strands of braided synthetic. It's stronger than steel.
It's more than adequate to handle the pressures of the ice hitting the tug. We don't want to break that line. It's stronger than it needs to be, but that's for the safety of the operation.
Strong enough to allow two 144-ton tugs to control a 65,000-ton cargo ship.
So we're back into the ice here. All that crunching and clunking you're hearing, that's beach ice, and you can hear a little bit of the smaller pans scraping down the side of the hull. So making the approach to the dock here, we're under the command of the pilot of the ship.
The North Star has a harbor pilot on board who instructs the tugboats as they push the mammoth cargo ship to dock.
Down the Bering, you can back easy.
Back easy on the Bering.
The pilot of the North Star has just asked Captain Grant to slow down.
He's wanting us to slow his bow down coming into the dock. Whatever he needs, he'll tell us to either back or push, and to what degree, how much horsepower to apply, how much thrust to apply.
Glacier head 1/3. Glacier head 1/3. And Bering, we'll go head easy 1.
Touching down, head easy 1. That means he's wanting me to push on him now instead of pull. This is the part where
Bering stop.
Bering stop. Where little mistakes can end up in a crash alongside the dock. This is where the finesse comes in.
Let me know if I'm making note of it.
You got to be quick on what he's asking for, especially when you're this close.
Bering wind easy.
Bering easy.
And glacier wind head easy. Glacier wind head easy.
The Bering Wind and Glacier Wind push the North Star towards the dock, flushing ice away with the wash from their propellers, while the Stellar Wind keeps the ice shadow open.
He's also keeping the ice off of us, making it easier for us to work. And then the Glacier Wind's got to line up on the stern of the ship, and he's working that end the same as we're working this end.
If the hard pan sea ice got between the North Star and the dock, it could do real damage to the hull. The tugs glide over the icy water as they guide in the North Star, thanks to the extreme maneuverability offered by the massive thrust of the Z-Drive propellers.
So he's just getting squared up on the face of the dock here. Once we get him flat alongside, then they'll start putting lines up. Once they got all the lines tied up, then he'll cut us loose and we'll be done. and then we'll just hold his bow in to keep his bow from coming off with the flood tide.
All stop, bearing.
Bearing stop.
Glacier stop. Glacier all stop.
He's happy with where he's at. He's getting tied up.
If you guys want to let your lines go, if you want, you can do that. We won't be backing up anymore.
Roger on the bearing.
And roger on the glacier.
With the North Star safely docked, the Bering Wind, Glacier Wind, and Stellar Wind head back to their pier.
We've got about 5.5 hours till the next ship. So catch a nap and get up and do her all over again. Home sweet home.
These extreme ice machines keep the Port of Alaska open in all weather conditions, any time of the day or night. Their job could not be more vital to the people of Alaska. And to the captain of the Bering Wind, it's the best job in the world.
I love it here. This is the funnest job on the planet. So you got current, you've got ice, you've got weather, you've got lots of conditions that you don't get in many other places in the world. So it keeps it interesting. These tugs are extreme ice machines just because they're tried and true. They're proven what they can do in this element. These tugs are incredible machines.
In the frozen landscape of the North, the climate is an ever-present danger. Whether it's performing rescue missions in unforgiving mountains or leading cargo vessels into a treacherous port, human survival has come to depend on these extreme ice machines.